All right, welcome to another edition of Mike Finds Things, where I go out in the wild, usually thrift stores, estate sales, yard sales, occasional record lots, any place I can find cool old records, and I bring them to you guys right out there in YouTube land. I'm thinking about expanding the channel a bit to like other, like say rock and roll history stuff. Of course, I want to go back to the old days where I was doing videos on other things I'd find. Might do that. There is a music exhibit at a museum nearby. I'm gonna, from an artist that we've had on the channel. No one's done a video on it, and the exhibition, which is almost a year long, is up in a few weeks. So I might go down. I got to contact the museum, make sure. I don't want to announce who it is or what it is until I know for sure. Make sure it's okay to film in there before I head down there. Ironically, it's right by where I filmed one of my car videos a few weeks ago. I didn't find out about this exhibition until today. We got a great stack of stuff. I'm trying to get ahead on my videos because in October I got a trip where I'm doing a hot rod power tour. I do car videos for my other channel, which is my name, Mike Frankovich, and that's going to be a week and a half straight of car videos, and I'm not going to have time to go find stuff, nor will I have time to make a Mike Finds Things video that week. So I'm trying to get ahead of myself as much as possible. Let's get into the records, why don't we? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment on these records, and make sure you like the video. It helps us with the algorithm. Still trying to hit that magical 1,000 subscriber mark. I doubt I'll be there by the time this posts. So make sure if you're not subscribed, you are subscribed. Starting out, we got a record. This was an estate sale. I was on my way back from Disneyland, and sometimes when we'd go to Disneyland, which my passes are now expired, as of like a couple days ago, I went with my daughter. I looked for estate sales. So we did this time. We stopped at one in Buena Park on the way back near Knott's Berry Farm, where we used to have passes at. My kid doesn't like roller coasters. We found this one. This is the only record I found at this estate sale. My daughter did find some other stuff, which I can't remember what it was off the top of my head because it was a while ago. This is from 1947, low of 5, mid of 20, high of 49. It's a red label Columbia, which you got to check those. It's Billie Holiday with Gloomy Sunday. So like I said, this one's a low of 5, mid of 20, high of 49, so it's a decent value. Night and Day, of course, it's Billie Holiday, which I love. So the Gloomy Sunday side was recorded in 1941, and Night and Day was recorded in 1939. So this is a bit of a reissue of two earlier recordings. Both of those were originally released on OK Records. So kind of an interesting, kind of like an early reissue from 1947. And a good one to have for the collection. I did not know the value on that when I bought it. I literally bought it thinking this would be a good one to have for the collection. And it wasn't really that much money. Here's one. We did find a copy in that record lot from last week, but it was cracked. So now I found a good one, which I'm pretty sure I already had a good one. Actually, this one's in really clean condition. This was an estate sale I went to. I don't remember what I think it was West Covina or something like that. And the guy running estate sales actually watches my car videos, so that's always good. It's always got him walking. He's like, "Hey, I love your car videos," and he had a couple cars for sale. Why don't you film the cars that I have for sale? So it was kind of a good start. I did find one good 78 and a few LPs at that one. The Great Pretenders, the Platters, of course, on Mercury. So it has a low of $1, mid of 8, high of 25. And I'm Just a Dancing Partners, the B-side on that one. Of course, Great Pretenders, a very well-known song by the Platters. Nice to have a good copy. I'm pretty sure I had another good copy, but considering in that record lot, the copy of that was broken. So that was a pretty cool lot. I still keep playing a lot of those records. I haven't put those away. I keep playing them. From 1985. Fortunately, this guy's LPs, I think they've left them outside overnight before the sale, and it got a little damp, a lot of them, which you should not do. And I think a lot of them were stored kind of weird. For 1985, this one of the there's so many pressings of this. I just put one pressing is low of 5, mid of 28, high of 55. This one's in good shape, other than the jacket. There's a little bit of like moisture there, and it's a little bent. The record is not bent. So this is the Back to the Future soundtrack. The actual record's in really good condition. These are good to pick up. 80s stuff is hot now, especially Back to the Future is always going to be one of those films. That's not even a hype sticker. That's where it says The Power of Love, Huey Lewis. That's just, it's like a hype sticker that's built into the design, not an actual sticker. Cool to find that. I did not have that in the collection, and I did see that movie when it came out way back when, 1985. We got a 1973 compilation. We got a copy of this in a couple of weeks ago when I was doing the old section of my collection that hasn't been added to in quite some time. I've done 2 videos on that so far. This was, of course, in the first video, and I did have a copy of this that wasn't as nice as this one. Surfer Girl, The Beach Boys. This is actually a compilation from '73, so of earlier recordings. Low of 20 cents. Someone sold these for 20 cents on Discogs because apparently they like wasting time. Mid of 3, high of 19, so not a crazy high value. I think I paid $1 for each of these LPs. Of course, I did have to drive out there. But you never know what you're going to find. Another one I got at that sale. This one's in really nice shape. I don't think the moisture got to this one. 2 LP set from '82, which, believe it or not, I did not have this. Prince, 1999. And yes, this is an artist I've seen live. Okay, I've also seen the Beach Boys live. We'll just say that. And yes, with Brian Wilson and everybody. In fact, I got to see them like at a Sirius XM thing they did in a hangar in Burbank in a soundstage, and all the original members. I'm standing like 5 feet from the Beach Boys while they're playing all their songs. I think 30 people got to go from a contest on Sirius, so it's pretty cool. I got a picture of me with all the Beach Boys, and a friend of mine was with me. My ex-wife, when we were married, she didn't want to go, and then she regretted it afterwards after I told her how cool it was. But a 2 LP set, Prince, 1999. I did get to see Prince live. He was fantastic. My dad also worked on Purple Rain. He was production manager on Purple Rain, and I remember him saying, "Oh, I'm going to be working on a movie with Prince." We're like, "Prince!" My sister and I were kids. We were like, "Whoa!" You know, he was big back then. You know, he had stories like, you know, my dad wasn't into Prince's music. We'll just leave it at that. From 1957, but this is a reissue from '62 when they remastered it in stereo, which you're probably like, ugh. We've already seen this artist in this video. Low of $1, mid of 2, high of 20. The Flying Platters on the Mercury Wing label. So I know people usually, they don't like to hear mono songs remastered into stereo, which became popular to do back then when everybody started going to stereo turntables. Unfortunately, yeah, I'd rather have a mono version of that album, but I picked it up for $1, so there you go. There's another one. I think I got that estate sale. I don't remember which estate sale that was, but I know I was at the same one as this. I don't think it was from the other one. I get mixed up sometimes. Coming up, we have stuff from a estate sale I did go to today, including a couple interesting classic rock stickers I picked up. Well, right now we have Little River Band from 1978. Low of $1, mid of 3, high of 20. This is Yacht Rock is getting hotter, so if I find it and it's minty, I'm grabbing it, especially if it's cheap. It's a Little River Band. Some of you guys are gonna be like, Little River Band, really? I'm like, you know what? That Yacht Rock stuff's getting hot, man. I'm telling you. Listen to me, especially if you can pick it up cheap. So this sale was one I went to this morning, 20 minutes from my house. Actually, not that far. It was right off the 210 freeway. Said they had records. Actually, I don't even know if they said they had records. They said they had a record player. I looked at the pictures and I could see some 78s. So I thought, okay, I'll take a chance and go out there. They had 78s, LPs, and they had 45s. So as well as cool KLOS classic rock rainbow stickers. We got the Eagles and we got Jackson Brown. So these were giveaway items locally for KLOS radio. I used to have the one that said KLOS 95.5 before they went to 0.5, and I peeled it and I put it on an old 73 Ford van I had that unfortunately I sold a few years ago. But these are definitely cool. As you know, I've got 70s cars. So this will probably wind up on my AMC Pacer. So there you go, or one of those, or maybe my other van, the one that I didn't sell. So that's kind of a cool little. So anytime you're at these sales, look for rock and roll collectibles, stuff like that. I mean, that's not expensive, but just fun. I still want to find the Steely Dan one. There's one that was Steely Dan apparently. They actually did a lot of the big artists from that era. They did a sticker like that. KLOS did. It's more of like an LA thing though. From '67, this was in the 40. There was a 45 pile. Most of them were terrible. This one was not. So it's in really nice condition. This version, there's 4 halves and 17 wants of this label variation. No sold comps. Different versions. There's 2 other label variations of the promo, if you can believe that. One is low of 30, mid of 35, high of 40, and the other one is low of 10, mid of 18, high of 40 from '67, a Northern Soul on Soul label, which is of course a Motown label. The originals, Goodnight Irene, and it's one of those promos where both sides are the same song. But so this one apparently is one that the Northern, this is a good Northern Soul song, done by the originals, who we know from other songs. But that's definitely a cool one for the Northern Soul collection. I still know people who DJ Northern Soul like regularly here in LA. So another one from the '60s, another promo. Another one with the same song on both sides. This one's on Columbia from 1965. Low of 5, mid of 13, high of 70. Now this is a traditional blues folk song with additional lyrics added about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. The Byrds, he was a friend of mine on Columbia. I'll show you that. It's the same on both sides. But a minty promo has a reasonable value. I said low of 5, mid of 13, high of 70. Sometimes I wonder about those super high values on these. That one does not have an original sleeve, although I'm pretty sure I've got an original Columbia sleeve I could throw on it. Here's one. I didn't really see it on Discogs. I didn't really try to look for it on Discogs. It's one of those book and records for kids, but it was so minty I grabbed it. It's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I said, these are usually trash because kids had them. And you can see it's got the whole story of Indiana Jones in there. And that was actually the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw, and I saw it in the theater. I did not see Raiders first, but it has it's on Vista Records, so it's on Disney's label. Which ironically now Disney owns Indiana Jones since they bought Lucasfilm. I've seen this listed for sale online in good condition between $8 and $35. So that tells me it's worth closer to about $8 or $10. Kind of a cool find. I like Indiana Jones. We got another one that's a record set that's from a certain IP, and you'll see in a few. Oh, back then they probably didn't call them IPs. That's coming up. But Indiana Jones, okay. We're gonna roll on to. I saw one copy somebody's trying to sell for $20. Not in the greatest shape, but both sides played extremely well. 1949 R&B record on Superior Records out of Hollywood, California. It's a Wig by Lee Washington with Dookie Daniels Orchestra. Now, anytime you find a label like that, you're going to try to figure out what it is. It is a cool R&B record, and it's got beeswax on the B side, and it's got one of those like discount record stamps for 3 cents. So at one point they sold that one for 3 cents. We got another one with a 3-cent stamp coming up too. Most of the 78s they had at this sale were like your normal run-of-the-mill stuff you always find that doesn't get anybody really excited. But you got to look through them because occasionally you find some really good stuff. Here's one I do not have a sold comp. Somebody on Discogs is asking like $100 for this next record here. In 1948, we got a Jump Blues on Jewel Records out of Hollywood. I found some good stuff on Jewel. Obviously, I live in LA, so it's a record company out of Hollywood you're going to find more often out here than probably other parts of the country. Martha Davis, When I Say Goodbye. And the other side is Sarah, and it has the 3 cent stamp on there. So it was sold through one of those places that sold records that didn't sell at a discount. The one I say goodbye side is definitely the A side on that one. And I don't think it's even marked that. I think I played both sides and it sounded like a better side. Got another one. This is one I always say, if you see this label, just pick it up. Ask questions later because it's usually something good. Another one I could not really find a value on. It's unusual for this label, but it's an extremely good condition. I'd say it's an excellent condition, especially for a 78. On the Recorded in Hollywood label, which later on became just Hollywood. So 53 jazz R&B instrumental record. Maurice Simon blows Big Apple Hop with Maurice Simon's Hollywood Orchestra. There you go. I found some really good stuff on this label. I think I've mentioned it before. Osgood's also got a 3-cent stamp, and I don't know why. And I could say I don't know why this record doesn't come up more often, or it doesn't. It's not something I really find. I think I found one other copy. I'm not sure if that's the one where they have one of those internet archives where they've archived the song. It said the one that they pulled it from was in poor condition. This one is not in poor condition. This looks like it's never been played or barely been played. Although I did play it, so I can't say it's never been played. Another neat thing is one of the records, as you put them in those generic brown sleeves because they're not going to fall apart. This is kind of a neat record. This is actually for one of those stores that sells records that are discounted that didn't sell. Get Your Hits Now, a slightly used band name record, or name band record. I think they mean name brand. Is better than inferior music by unknowns. And get your records on all the major labels: Victor, Columbia, Decca, Capitol, etc. I've never seen this sleeve. Some of you guys might have. So it's actually a really good sleeve. It's better than the ones that actually came on the name band records. And you see it's got some of the signatures on there: Eddie Fisher, Rosemary Clooney, Joni James, Doris Day, Ralph Flanagan, Perry Como, Patti Page, Joe Stafford. Ironically, like, those are records that aren't really anybody's looking for anymore. You find them pretty regularly. And why pay 89 cents each for your records? Many of these records are brand new, and most of the others sound good as new. So a lot of times they'd get records from jukebox operators, or just ones that just didn't sell. In fact, I see a lot of R&B that's like that, especially obscure ones that have that stamp on there, that were sold through these resellers, and often were brand new records, from what I understand, when they were sold. And you might find your favorite tunes for less. So kind of a cool sleeve, and it's also an advertisement for used records, or maybe ones that were promo copies. Sort of a neat piece of history here on Mike Finds Things. All right, the last 378s for that sale. Then we got some more. Oh, we still got the LPs from that sale, and then I got some stuff from a thrift store. From 1947, we've got Bugs Bunny. I realized I knew this one wasn't going to be worth much, but it was so minty I had to grab it. Low of 4, mid of 10, high of 16 from 47. It is Bugs Bunny. You can see it's got the great artwork on the cover there. Of course, these were kids' records. They usually got trashed, or sometimes they barely got played, which is the case of this one. The records are all in good shape. There's 3 records. Mel Blanc. You know Bugs Bunny. You know the Looney Tunes. You love them. I thought that was a pretty cool set just to grab. I will say at that sale, I spent $21 total, and I got a early 60s Ford F-Series radio, AM radio, which I could probably sell for more than I paid for all that. So I'm happy. So that's Bugs Bunny with Mel Blanc. You find a lot of Mel Blanc records. They're always loose. They're never like in a book like that. At least for me. Here's one I always pick up this artist when I find it, which isn't very often because in the 90s, like the hipsters latched onto this one. Latin-esque Esquivel and his orchestra with stereo action. This one has the original price tag, $3.69 at. There was a chain of stores locally called White Front. I know it sounds weird. In fact, it's become like a meme online. And they actually have, check this out. This was they had to order it. They actually ordered it from Dale Record Service on Pico Boulevard in LA. So they special ordered this Esquivel album from 1962 for your Space Age Exotica. Check it out, it's in really nice condition. So it's not just stereo, it's stereo action. Low of 10, mid of 20, high of 25, and it's always great to find Esquivel that I didn't already have. So, and as you watch my other one, as I mentioned before, I used to DJ surf and cocktail stuff and exotica music, so that's a great one to find. Same sale as the last two, including those 78s, which is kind of weird. They had a bunch of LPs, not very many good ones. Here's one I did not have, and it's from 85. This is the version without a gatefold. Low of 4, mid of 12, high of 89. It's Sade, Promise. So with Sweetest Taboo on it. So I gotta love the 80s stuff. Like I said, the 80s stuff is definitely coming up. Sade is great. We want to just chill out, listen to some chill out music. Okay, we're gonna go into thrift store records now. So those were all from estate sales, including the last few were from one that was actually this morning. We're gonna go. I took my daughter thrifting. She's back in school now, so I don't think it's gonna happen as much for a while. I went to one thrift store with her. She found some stuff. The only record I found at that one was Jack Scott, There Comes a Time, with Baby Marie on the other side from 1959. Of course, usually you find the Jack Scott, usually you find like Leroy, the one with Leroy, and My True Love. But so that's not a Jack Scott you normally find. Low of a $1.44, mid of 5, high of 15 on that record. So I think I paid $1 for it. It's minty, so why not grab it? It's Jack Scott. It's sort of more common rockabilly. It's a good like entry-level rockabilly record for somebody if you find it out in the wild. 1949 Jump Blues record. Low of 3, mid of 4, high of 22. On Regal Records out of Linden, New Jersey. For You, My Love, Larry Darnell. I looked up this label was only active for like a couple of years, and they got all their catalog got sold out to King, and a lot of the artists that they had wound up on OK. So Lost My Baby is the other side. I was reading up on that label, and Cab Calloway was on that label as well, which is probably why you find a lot of Cab Callaways on like OK. There you go, kind of neat. I don't think I'd ever seen the Regal label before, so I literally had to look up the label. I saw the record. Is it a thrift store I don't normally go to? I've found stuff before, but it's one where a lot of parents let their kids run wild. So a lot of times if they have 78s, they get smashed. And also their records used to be cheap and they jacked up their prices. So I didn't mind picking that up because it's an interesting jump blues record, which is always worth grabbing. 56, this one was, most of these are from that thrift store I always say I like to go to. I don't like to give out where it is. They raised their prices from $1 to $2. This one was $3 for some reason. I don't know why. But it's a low of 2, mid of 12.50, high of 35. Ahmad Jamal Trio. Apparently this is like a later pressing with a different cover. I guess the one to have is like the early cover, supposedly. And it's a mono pressing. It's sort of like a bop jazz record. And as most jazz LPs, it's pretty minty. Most jazz people took care of their stuff. So that's no different. Cool to find nonetheless. I was actually playing it while I was going through looking up values and stuff on these records. Okay, we're gonna breeze through some more of these. We got another one from the same store. This one was $2. Paul Simon, still crazy after all these years. I just snagged it. This one, I thought it was a gatefold. It needs to be glued back together. Low of 3, mid of 7, high of 36. I go to this store several times a week. Sometimes with my daughter. She likes to look for manga books, which for some reason they keep getting manga books there. So I always look at the LPs. They have not been rotating stuff lately though, which is kind of bad. And some of these, I think that Ahmad Jamal, I got a discount because I did have a coupon. You get a coupon if you donate. And also, the more stuff you buy, they give you like points towards a discount. And I don't use it unless I'm buying a bunch of stuff at once, which I think in the case when I bought that one, it was. I actually got a cool like 60s clock radio, and I think I got some other stuff for my daughter. She got a bunch of books that time too. From 75, this one I literally was like, what? Because you don't find this artist at thrift stores ever anymore. It is The Who by Numbers. Low of 2, mid of 5, high of 22. So not a high value Who album. It has a textured cover, so it's got like fingerprints and dirt all over it. Looks like somebody had either that's chocolate or glue from a sticker. I don't know. But The Who by Numbers. This one's got Squeeze Box, Slip Kids. Probably the two more famous songs on this one. Still cool to find The Who. I have seen The Who, I believe, 3 times. Always at the Hollywood Bowl for some reason. But I've seen The Who several times in concert. I've listened to The Who pretty much my whole life. Here's one I got at a Goodwill I happened to wind up at because I was in an area where there was a Goodwill. That's about the best. This is all I bought. It was $4, but it was so clean I had to grab it. A low of 1, mid of 4, high of 10, so I basically paid what it's worth. The Ventures on stage on Dalton, but like both the record and the jacket are really nice, especially these cardboard jackets that separate if you touch them the wrong way. Let's see, this is a super minty copy of the Ventures on stage. Ventures, they put out so many albums, it's like ridiculous. Probably the most common of the instrumental surf groups you'll find on vinyl, just because they put out so much stuff. Still cool to find a live Ventures. Although from what I understand, like some of the songs weren't even live; they just mixed in like crowd noises, which is what I read online. I'm sure you could, if you need to look it up, it'll explain it. Another one not worth a whole lot of money from the thrift store, but it was so minty I grabbed it. From 69, low of 52 cents. Boy, you were just like wasting your time with that one. Mid of 350, high of 20, so it's still worth more than I paid for it. This one has a gatefold. Jay and the Americans, Sands of Time. So they're doing covers of earlier songs. Of course, This Magic Moment was a big hit for them. But it's got their versions of like Pledging My Love, My Prayer, Gypsy Woman, So Much in Love, Good Night My Love, Mean Women Blues, Life But a Dream, When You Dance, Hushabye, Since I Don't Have You. So a lot of doo-wop stuff they're doing covers of. And there's your gatefold for Jay and the Americans. That's actually a pretty cool album. I like listening to Jay and the Americans. That next one, we got a couple more records here, and then that'll be the end of this video. We'll start with, we got Roberto Flack, Killing Me Softly, 1973 soul record, low of 4, mid of 17, high of 25, quadraphonic. So it's a quadraphonic, with a weird gatefold. They call it the gimmick cover, I guess. So she's behind a piano, and then if you do this, she's not behind a piano, and the piano's over here. It's like magic. All right, so we got that one. Of course, this one has Killing Me Softly with his song, which everyone knows. And if you don't know it from this version, if you're younger, you might know the Fugees version. Which I had that CD when it was like the hot thing. Last one, we got more Exotica, because that's what you wanted. This one I grabbed because it's minty and because it's Exotica. 1959, low of 3, mid of 18, high of 67. Yes, you got to check these Exotic albums, even if they're like really well-known artists. The Exotic Sounds of Martin Denny, The Enchanted Sea. Check this out. This is a stereo version, and it is minty. A lot of these just got pulled out for parties as like background mood music, let's face it. A nice copy of a Martin Denny stereo album from 59. So that's what I got for you this week on Mike Finds Things. Hopefully I find some stuff. There's a sale tomorrow where supposedly they have blues records. So I'm going to go to that. Go to 2 more sales, then I got to go visit my mother. And I don't know if I have time to go to any more sales this weekend. I will have more videos coming up for you on the channel. Maybe I'll go tour that museum thing if they're okay with the camera in there. Lots of other amazing stuff coming up for you. I'm sure I'm going to find all kinds of good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you leave some comments, and make sure you like the video. Give it that thumbs up. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.